course. This is week 6, so we're talking about the physical core dimension. So far we've gone over, this is the books that go together for this course. And I'm just basically reading this to you. There's a whole story that goes behind this. My website is ayla-love.com, and you can learn all about me there. But I just really want to get this information out, and it's really a conversation for humanity. Like, we have so much information spread everywhere, and misinformation and too much information. Just like, just thinking of my own children, like, what would mom say? And it's what I would say. And it's based on love, agape love, for my own children, for humanity, so we can rise. So, just want to thank everybody for joining me today. And I know that there's a lot of suffering in the world, and so I do meditations, and I'm sending out love everywhere, wherever it's needed. So feel that, take that, and then spread it around. So I'm basically just reading and then providing commentary. And there are multiple aspects of like target markets that I could preach to, I actually created a rehabilitation program from this for inmates, and almost got it into a jail. So I've been doing a lot of background kind of work, and it's very exciting, but it's also has not been financially helping me at all. But the foundation of why I wrote this was not to gain financially. I mean, I was hoping that something would have popped off, but out of it, and I still do, because I have a lot of skills and talents, and so, but until then, I'm reading this because I have friends, nobody wants to sit down and read, so I'm going to read it to you. It's a whole person education, so it's like going over 10 different aspects of life: personal, which is self-love, mental, emotional, physical, sexual, relational, behavioral, financial, legal, and I missed one. Personal, spiritual, mental, emotional, sexual, physical, relational, behavioral, financial, legal. Yeah, okay. So this week is all about physical, your body. And I'm 54 years old, and I don't have a gallbladder. So some people might resonate with that who are dealing with that. But overall, I'm healthy. I'm not on prescriptions. I'm taking care of my body. And so, before I start reading, I'm just going to let you know that there are some links below that have a link to a self-assessment for this whole course, not just for the physical core, but for the whole course. And so I encourage you to do that. It's a useful tool to help me reach my goals in a streamlined, efficient, and effective manner. And then there's also a link for the Exiting the Matrix Facebook group, and there's a link for if you'd like to support my mission, my cause. This is my passion. This is my purpose, to raise the vibration on the planet. So with that, I want to also encourage you to subscribe, like, comment, share with people you know who may be struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, personally, like not loving themselves, all these different ways that we pretty much are not given the keys, the tools, by the time we're 18. So I'm going to start reading, and if any comments that come in, I'm going to, I want to say hi to you and connect, but the focus is really to read this, provide commentary, and then after we can talk. However, I've been coming across some issues with being, I'm going to ignore all comments about people loving me or whatever. Guys, come on. This is education. So, I'm going to start reading. This is Obesity is a Global Pandemic. Talk about pandemic. The fact is that 50% of people in the world are obese. In the article, U.S. obesity rates have been tripled over the past 60 years. A nationwide survey shows that nearly 70% of adults in the U.S. Are either overweight or obese. Out of the entire population, 43% of all Americans are obese, while 10% are morbidly obese. In 1960-1962, there were 13.4% obese and 0.9% morbidly obese. By 2017 and 18, there were 42.8% obese and 9.6% morbidly obese. Obesity increases the risk of cancer, pancreatic, liver, and thyroid cancers, and several other diseases such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. There's a question in the comments. Hello, do you count calories or just eat healthily? I mean, I'm trying to gain muscle, so I'm focusing on protein intake, but also for something that I realized, because I dance and I've been a professional mover, so I realized that I had lost a lot of weight because I wasn't eating enough calories to replace that. I did the research, and it's like if I pack somebody's house, when I say move people, I pack their house. So if I pack for 5 hours, that's 1,300 calories that I'm burning. So I need to replenish that on days that I'm working, and I hadn't. So it's just being aware of that kind of stuff. I don't calculate every day. However, I have used Chronometer just kind of as a tool to check out, okay, this is what I've been eating and how does it measure up. So in general, I just eat healthy. Today I ate a thing of tuna with some sourdough bread, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a banana, chia seeds mixed in water with collagen powder, Greek yogurt, and then I had my supplements, and then water. So it's pretty much what I've eaten today. And and an egg sandwich on sourdough. So I didn't calculate, but I'm trying to build muscle, so I want to eat protein and all that I just described. The sourdough bread is good for your gut because it can help with your gut microbiota, so that it's absorbing nutrients. That helps with that. All right, I'm going to get back to my reading, and then when I'm done, I will engage in more conversation. But the yeah. From the data, the population whose income falls between $15,000 and $24,999 are the most obese in the USA. Among the different ethnic groups in the USA, the Asian and non-Hispanic populations have the least obesity. In 2021, West Virginia, Alabama, and Kentucky were the only states with obesity rates over 40%. Genetic, environmental, and socioeconomic factors, among others, need to be considered before deeming that one group of people are prone to obesity. So these are from USA Facts, all those percentages. So the root cause of obesity in the United States, according to a peer-reviewed article on PubMed, the root causes of the epidemic of obesity are governmental policies and the food industry, which make obesity difficult to escape in the U.S. and now worldwide. Since the 1980s, there has been an abundance of high caloric density, low quality food, processed food, and underactivity. Genetic predisposition and environmental susceptibility to gain weight are due to increased energy intake and reduced energy expenditures. So it's saying, eat healthier and get outside and dance. The article mentions the problem of unregulated marketing and advertisement. The food industrial complex, which manufactures obesogenic foods that foster addiction to its foodstuffs, and the economic disparity resulting in altered family dynamics, eating habits, and food availability. One thing that was always important to me with my kids is we always ate at the dinner table together, and we didn't have cell phones back then, and when they came out, they weren't allowed at the table. The bottom line is that Americans are bombarded by advertisements for high-calorie, low-nutrient quality foods that they become addicted to. Sugar is toxic and addictive more than cocaine. Calories are energy, so when you are not active enough to spend the calories or energy that you ate, it will result in you gaining weight. The additives and preservatives in those foods will also wreak havoc in your gut, which will likely lead to the assortment of diseases mentioned above. Weight management boils down to balancing calories. To lose weight, burn more calories than you consume. That's the basic approach. Eat smart. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods like fruits, veggies, and lean proteins. Limit sugary drinks, processed snacks, and unhealthy fats. Move more. Aim for regular physical activity. Even small increases like daily walks can help. And if you're confined to a chair, start moving your arms. And then move your legs. Whatever you can do, do it. Track your progress, keep a food journal, or use an app to monitor calorie intake and exercise, like chronometer.com. Remember, consistency is key. Small, sustainable changes lead to lasting results. Talk to your doctor for personalized advice. Not that I think they have too much help, but I have to say that. Feel your body. A guide to nutrient-rich eating and optimal health. Here are multiple ways to help you optimize your intake of high nutrient quality, non-hazardous foods and optimizing your overall physical health. Study food labels. Knowing what matters on a food label will help deter you from eating empty calories, which are foods that have low or inadequate nutrition value. Use the Yuka app. Y-U-K-A. Yuka, I don't care how it's pronounced. But that app I stopped eating anything that said hazardous additives like 3 years ago. So, and beauty products. Download the app onto your mobile phone to scan the barcodes of foods you want to eat and the beauty products you use. This app will rate the food from 0 to 100 and tell you what impacted its rating. It will tell you if there are mild, moderate, or hazardous additives in the food. It will tell you if it's too sweet, salty, etc., and it will provide recommendations for similar products that are a healthier choice. And it's not foolproof, so it will still rate some foods as good that have canola oil and or soy. Like, you have to really learn about what you're putting in your body, because it doesn't look like they care. So it's very important for parents, especially. There are lots of like people talking about how the different food dyes are, causing ADHD. That didn't exist when I was a kid. Okay, they keep coming up with names. Oh, what's that? Give me a break. So, watch Kiss the Ground. This is a good documentary. It was on Netflix when I watched it. And find a regenerative agricultural farm in the USA near you. The website is regenerativefarmersofamerica.com. So a regenerative farm is basically, what's happening is I'm putting that link in the comments. So what's happening is farms are overusing the soil, therefore the soil loses the nutrients. So when you grow food, the food literally doesn't have the nutrients that it needs optimally. So you have to allow the dirt, the soil, to replenish. And we could even go to the Bible where it says they left the land alone for 7 years. They used it for 7 years, and then they didn't use it for 7 years. But regenerative farming is how they, have this whole system set up where it's a natural habitat for the animals and the production of food. So, plant a garden so you know your food has the right nutrients in it. And I'm sure there's lots that goes into that, because I'm not a gardener. I've never had a garden. My ex had a garden. I pulled things out of the garden, but I never got into gardening. Learn about planting microgreens, since you can get even more high quality nutrients from them. Microgreens are like let's say broccoli. I don't know. It's like you cut the plant before it gets full grown, so that all the nutrients are like in that small piece, and it's highly nutritious. Avoid diet foods and drinks like diet soda, which have artificial sweeteners that are hazardous to your health. Artificial sweeteners are either non-digestible or minimally digestible and are stored in the body. So you gain weight. That literally happened to me. I went from drinking Pepsi to drinking diet Dr. Pepper, and I gained 10 pounds. So, alternative, drink green tea, which is amazing for your health, and add some raw honey to it. Or follow the paleo diet for 1 month to help you break away from sugary foods. And that's what I did. After I drank the diet Dr. Pepper, then I switched to Dr. Pepper. and I drank like 4 cans a day. This was back in 2009. And so at that time I weighed about 140 pounds. But in 2019, no, 2018, I think. No, 2019, I went on a paleo diet because I wanted to get away from soda. And so for 1 month, I went on the paleo diet, which is only eating foods from the earth. So it really opened up my eyes to all the sugar, like peanut butter. I like peanut butter. So I grew up on Skippy. And then I went to Jif because it's more peanutty. But then I realized that they're just adding sugar in there. So now the peanut butter I choose only has peanuts. Like peanuts and sea salt. That's it. And it's so stupid. You go to the grocery store and you see peanut butter with all this crap in it. $2. And then the one that has just peanuts and sea salt, double the price. For what? Less garbage? So, kind of annoying. But I buy the more expensive one. And some people are like, "Oh, it's so expensive to eat healthy." Think about all the money you spend on junk food. Okay? That's expensive. Go to a gas station. I just don't even go to the gas station if I can't help it. If I can help it. I don't go. So, sugar is toxic, again, and addictive. And is not good for your health. Period. Overeating sugar can cause you to have too much yeast in your body, which can develop into skin problems like rashes and acne. Alternative. Use natural sweeteners like raw cane sugar, 100% maple syrup, as these are 100% better for the human body to consume, and honey, 100% raw honey. So, cane sugar, it has other things in it too that are like micronutrients. Measure your cereal. I remember when I was a kid, get a big bowl, tons of sugar, milk. It's like, nope, don't do that no more. You will be surprised how much 1 cup of cereal is. It will help you be more aware of how many calories you're eating. Again, avoid high sugar content in cereals and food coloring, which finally it looks like they're doing something about that in America now. We'll see. Measure your cereal and read I said that. Restaurant portions are not based on healthy eating recommendations. So, you go out to eat, you're going to order something and they're going to give you a big ass plate. Well, are you supposed to eat all that? It actually is good to share. Save money and don't overconsume. In general, eliminate processed, microwaved, and fast foods entirely or as much as possible. It would be wise to do your research so you know what you are doing to your body. In general, the methods of cooking foods break down nutrients, which means the nutrient content is lessened. However, some foods like tomatoes, when simmered on low for 30 minutes, actually enhances certain nutrients that the body needs for the oxidation of cells, for blood flow. The health of your microbiome in your gut is incredibly important to your health. It's like your second brain, they say. If your gut is out of whack, your brain's going to be out of whack. It's kind of kind of goes together. Intermittent fasting will slow down the aging process. Autophagy. I'm 54. Stimulate growth hormones. Utilize stored fat for energy, which helps you lose weight, and potentially initiate stem cell production. I watched a video of a woman who fasted for 7 days. It was rough, but what she was doing, like if you stopped eating all hazardous, like for me, I'm like, I haven't eaten, okay, I'm like 95%, okay, I do eat sugar occasionally, 5% of the time, because I like chocolate and I love caramel. So, but hazardous additives, quit 4 years ago, unless, you know, it's hard. It is hard because I'll go, if like holidays, go to somebody's house, or somebody invites you to cook for you, and I'm like, what ingredients do you use? So it does make it challenging. But that process of like eliminating all that stuff 4 years ago, how do you think that my body has been regenerating since then? It's healthier, right? Our cells renew. Autophagy. That's when the good cells in your body actually eat all the bad cells that cause aging and disease and So autophagy is so important. Hello, welcome. So intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of eating and fasting. Unlike traditional diets that focus on what you eat, it emphasizes when you eat. There are various methods, but all involve dividing the day or week into eating windows and fasting windows. So, for example, I've learned so much about nutrition, I can't even tell you everything tonight, right now. But what I was doing was I would only eat everything I was going to eat that day. I would only eat it between 6 and 8 p.m. That means your body is only digesting that one time. It gives your body a break. And then during the day, I would just drink tea. I don't even put anything in my tea. And that's because I got rid of sugar, like the addiction to sugar. So fasting is, I can't tell you how long to fast for, but if Dr. Berg has, I just watched a video. So in all my playlists, there are videos that I save to each of these chapters for this book. So look at the physical core dimension, and in there's probably a video that I thought was good that talks about fasting. If not, I'll check it out and I'll add one. But you got to be careful too, because it all depends on your body, your health, you have to really know what you need and how to take care of your body and be an advocate. So, self-advocate. So, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not even a nutritionist. I'm just taking care of my body because I know how. Because I learned what I needed to learn. And that's what everyone needs to do. All these little pieces of the puzzle that are never taught, really. So that's why I'm sharing. To open up your eyes and go, yes, I want to learn this. There's so many videos on YouTube. You don't have to read. And actually, I use AI chat to for lots of things, even with my health, because I use what is it called? A composition scale. So the composition scale tells you all the numbers, like your BMI, your muscle mass, your fat mass, your visceral fat, your subcutaneous fat. The difference between those, the visceral fat is the fat that's around your intestines, which causes leaky gut. And then your subcutaneous fat is whatever you can squish. So, it's just learning all those different things that help you understand, okay, what do I want to do with my body? How do I want to heal it? So, potential benefits of intermittent fasting include weight management. By restricting calorie intake windows, it can promote weight loss, improved metabolic health. Studies suggest intermittent fasting may improve insulin sensitivity and blood sugar control, cellular repair. Fasting may trigger cellular repair processes and enhance longevity. Reduce inflammation. Research suggests intermittent fasting may have anti-inflammatory effects. So, when your body is inflamed chronically, that's what causes disease. So, how do you turn it around? You change your diet. You start moving your body. Start there. Anything. The Yuga app is really helpful. So, the next topic that we're going to talk about is water and your health, but I'm going to see what the comments are. I feel like I must have done so much damage to my body internally. I've ordered DoorDash every day for going on a couple years now, if not longer. Wow. I personally don't trust restaurants. I mean, I will go occasionally, but I don't even, this whole food industry is pathetic to me. It's like, is this good for me? Thank you. So just so you know, so you're going to you're going to fast tomorrow. Just do some research so that you understand, because there's like there's like more information that goes into fasting. It's not like, oh, just fast. Understanding like after you fast, what foods should you eat when you're done fasting, so that your body can like accept it easily, right? You don't want to eat a big steak. You want to eat gentle foods like toast with butter, some banana, can't remember what that diet is called. This oatmeal, like really gentle, nourishing things that are calm. Not crazy, like, peppers, chili peppers, or so the next section now is called water and your health. Water is extremely important for your health. Not just any water, though. We need water that has natural minerals and elements from the earth. As we have seen so far, it is vital to get nutrients, minerals, and vitamins into our bodies every day. Yet in the USA, it is difficult to know if the water we are drinking, bathing in, and cooking with are free of contaminants and has the nutrients in it that we need. Well, it doesn't. So, for the past 5 years, it has been my quest to know what's in my water. I actually bought a digital water meter. I think it's for like testing the water in a fish tank. And then I got pH drops. And I'd go, this is when I did go to restaurants. So I'm at the restaurant and I'm like testing their water. You should see everybody freak out, like they think I'm a inspector or something. It's like, no, I just don't want to drink your pathetic, nasty ass water. So basically, you put the drops in and it tells you how dense the water is. So density has to do with I don't know, whatever, like salinity. So like there's on the, it's a TDS digital meter, something like that. Okay, and on it, it has like, between these numbers, the water's good, and this is not good. So I just followed it. Um, I actually took, I actually tested different bottled waters. Um, Here are some things I've learned. Tap water goes through chemical treatments. Water lines do not allow water to flow naturally, and often water companies add chemicals to the water like fluoride, and there are traces of arsenic in my tap water at my house. This was in 2019. And yeah, I actually talked to a, like, the president of some water company in Pensacola, Florida. And I talked to him about the issues that I was having, like, yeah, arsenic's in the water, and what about fluoride, blah blah. And he was like, it was basically out of his hands. Like, he couldn't even do anything about it. That's what he said. But I do want to add that, so water has crystals, and there's actually Dr. Demoto or something. He did water experiments. Like, he would have 3 glasses with rice in them, and one would have it was rice with water. Sorry. So one of them, he would say, "I love you," and then the second one he would say, "I hate you," and this third one he would ignore. So over time, we'll start with the bad one. We'll start with the one he ignored. The rice turned brown. The one he said, "I hate," it turned into black mold. And the one that he said, "I love you," did not change color. So, I love you. Silly, right? Woo woo. However, it's actually scientifically proven. And so water has crystals. And so, like, think of a spring. Everything is just flowing, flowing, flowing. If you were to go to a spring and you were to put your cup in the water, if it's like good water, right? You could drink it if, obviously if it's not contaminated. So yeah, that kind of water in the spring, you have to get it tested. However, the crystals, have you ever seen water that's just like so like sparkling? It's like clear, so clear. And that has to do with the crystalline structure of the water. Just like snowflakes have shapes when it gets cold. That's water. Same thing, right? So when it goes through the pipes, it's getting knocked all around, and by the time it even gets into your cup, it's all so. Yeah. So, all right, next. According to a new NRDC report, which is Natural Resources Defense Council, nearly 77 million Americans got drinking water from systems that violated federal protections in 2015. And more than a third of this number relied on systems that did not comply with standards put in place to protect health. So everyone needs to know exactly what is in their tap water. And you can go to your water company's website, and they have to have their report on their website for free. That's how I found out that there was mild arsenic in my tap water in Pensacola, Florida. So, ways to get around that is getting a filter. The Burka thing for, like, Burka is like it's a metal thing, and it has like carbon and different things in it that the water, you put water in and then it goes through and then it gives you good water. On your shower, at most places they have a little filter thing that you can put right on the shower head. In an RV, they have one that goes from the water spigot into the hose that goes into your RV. So there are ways to like minimize that. You know, you don't want to shower in it. Definitely don't want to cook with it. So anyone can get their water company's annual water quality report that shows exactly what is in their water. My water company's annual report shows there is arsenic, 0.10 parts per billion, fluoride, 0.74 parts per million, mercury, 0.25 parts per billion, and multiple other contaminants in my tap water. So I do not drink my tap water, and I have a filter on my shower head. These numbers are below the allowable amount, but I don't want to drink, cook with, or bathe in any of those toxins. So they have levels. They're like, okay, well, this is okay. Yeah, none of it's okay. Now, water comes from the earth, so there are natural toxins in the water too. So, yeah, I'm not an expert, but I'd rather not be putting arsenic in my body. So, all bottled waters labeled purified, natural spring water, or pH balance are dead water. There's no minerals unless they added them to it, because the reverse osmosis process takes out the healthy minerals along with the chemicals, viruses, and bacteria. Watch the episode called Bottled Water on Netflix, series History 101. It's very informative. Boiling water for 10 minutes removes viruses and bacteria from it, but it also removes the healthy minerals from the water too. Excuse me. Companies who claim their bottled waters are pH balanced are just using this tactic to get people to buy their products. But the reality is that when water goes into your acidic stomach, the water becomes acidic. So, okay, you're going to have pH balanced water going to here, and then, it gets in your stomach, it's acidic. It's going to become acidic. You can find natural springs all around the world at findaspring.com, but the company for this website does not automatically test the water. They offer patrons a 15% off coupon code to test the water and give you the option. I'm going to give you this link if you're interested. Because over in Alabama, we would drive like 2 to 3 hours to get, water's just coming out of the earth, free, refill. It wasn't tested, but it tasted good, and we didn't keep doing it because we didn't have the money to test it, and we didn't want to take our chances. So the tests range from $189 to $269. There's a natural spring. Oh, I just said that. So yeah, actually the water was artesian. And yeah, okay. The book Water and Salt. This is interesting. It has a lot of valuable information about the importance of water, especially Fiji water and Himalayan salt, which has 84 trace minerals the body needs. So, Fiji water, which is artesian water, seems to be the best in the world, in my opinion, because it has natural potent elements in it, and the manufacturers use a production system that protects the minerals. There are negative reviews regarding high amounts of arsenic, which is a natural element from the Earth's crust, being found in their water. However, the company reports that it has resolved this issue. Himalayan salt is not always mined correctly, but so you can buy it at a grocery store, but if it was mined with metal tools, it depletes the potency of the elements, making it dead salt. So this company, or this book, Water and Salt, they actually, oh, it's next, never mind. The product Soleil was created by the original Himalayan crystal salt company and is mined in the Himalayas by hand. Other companies mine in Pakistan using explosives. So, you want dead salt? You gotta know where you're getting your stuff from. However, after I wrote this, I learned that Celtic sea salt is better because too much Himalayan salt isn't good for you either. So, you gotta listen to your body. So, the Soleil, which is S-O-L-E, after soaking the Soleil, so I bought this, it was Himalayan salt from the place that was mined correctly. You put the rocks in a glass jar, and then you add Fiji water to it, and every morning you just take one little scoop of it and put it in your water. So that would add the trace minerals. And there's actually like companies that like have, you know, the drops, electrolytes or trace minerals drops that you can add. So, you know, some people are like, oh, what's that? It's not important, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think it's more important to say I love you and be loved. Love, love, love. Because you can get most of the minerals in your diet if you're eating a whole food diet. But, you know, I'm just like, I just want God's water. Hello? So, I usually do add a little bit of sea salt in my water just because it has the trace minerals. But you also want to do that while, like this doesn't have any in it because I ate and like I had enough salt in my food, so I don't feel like I need it. I can tell. So you learn to listen to your body. So the good news is that there is water in foods. You can also get hydration from your diet. For example, a glass of orange juice is 90% water, which has many nutrients. So, this is where I'm going to get into Dr. What's his name? Okay. Water vibrates and resonates. Humans need to have access to quality water, but we also need to be cautious about how we impact each other because we are mostly made of water. Science has proven that water reacts to sound, so how we treat water can affect the human body. How is that? What you say and your body's vibration will impact your health and those around you. So, think and actually feel positive. Like, feel it inside of you. It's a frequency. The human body, thoughts, words, and actions have energetic vibrations and resonance. Rubik. Ooh, there is this cool video I saw, and I'm sure it's in one of my playlists because, like, they're like a band, but they use water with instruments, different types of like structures that they put water on, and then when they play the music, it's like vibrating and creating patterns. It's really cool. I believe it's in my playlist for the physical core dimension. So the composition of the human body is 60 to 65% water. The brain alone is 75 to 83% water. And just so you know, that's probably the optimal. I mean, it's person to person. But, so, another thing, water holds memory. Energetic vibrations from words, thoughts, and actions impact the human body at a cellular level. In fact, from conception. Dr. Masaru Emoto, That's the name I was looking for. The Japanese scientist who revolutionized the idea that our thoughts and intentions impact the physical realm is one of the most important water researchers the world has known. For over 20 years, until he passed away in 2014, he studied the scientific evidence of how the molecular structure in water transforms when it is exposed to human words, thoughts, sounds, and intentions. So, in the course, in the course, in the back, there's all the link. Like I have an index with all the our references. So, okay. How's everyone doing? Nice. I have test strips that tell like 30 different things by what color it turns. Awesome. I don't. I just have the pH drops. So, this information helps individuals see how their own words, thoughts, and actions impact their health and the health of those around them. In Emoto's experiments, he marked 3 identical jars of rice and water with specific words. To the first jar, he spoke loving words to the jar marked love, and the rice maintained its white appearance. The second jar was labeled hate, and he said hateful words to it, and the rice turned into black mold. The third jar was marked ignore, which he did, and the rice turned into brown mold. Emoto's and other experiments show how water crystallizes based on various words or music. It helps you see the quality of the crystallized water, which is based on the vibration presented in the water. Knowing these simple truths can help us remember that how we think, speak, and treat our loved ones can harm their health, because everything carries a vibrational frequency. Your thoughts affect your physical and the mental health and everyone around you. So true. Do your research. You can improve your drinking water. The Impossible Rice Experiment, that's what that with Dr. Emoto. The Secret of Water, and Gaia, The Secret of Water. So, lots of awesome information about water. And being silly. I love you, water. You're so amazing. Give me all your wonderful crystalline. And magically she disappeared. No, I'm just kidding. So, that is the end of the reading. I would like to remind you guys to check out the links. You can join or you can do the self-assessment to help you on your journey, and join the Exiting the Matrix group on Facebook. There's a link in the description. And then if you'd like to support my mission to help educate the world on these very important matters, we're on week 6, and we've already covered socialization, the matrix. What is the matrix? And the core self-inventory that goes with this course, and personal core dimension, which has to do with loving yourself, having compassion for yourself, and forgiving yourself, things like that. And then understanding how how your personality was formed by pretty much by the time you were 5. Not that it's stuck, but that to be aware of the influences and perception of your personality. And also we got into spirituality and religion, spiritual practices, energy forces, vibrational energy, and then we went into how to protect your brain, how to exercise your brain, mindfulness and meditation, mental core exploration. Actually, the exploration and the breaking free are in every chapter. And then we got into emotional quotients, which is emotional intelligence. There are quizzes you can take to see where you stand. And emotional balance and validation. And then this week we already talked about oxygen in your cells, nutrition and supplements, and then tonight we talked about obesity as a global pandemic, and water and your health. So tomorrow I will be going over self-care activities, and then we'll get into the physical core exploration and the breaking free physically. So I wrote this course as a conversation for humanity. Like, we know we have all this information everywhere. I mean, we got people saying, be on an all meat diet, be on an all fruit diet, look at me, you know, and it's like, and now Arnold Schwarzenegger's a vegan. And the strongest man, like there's a documentary about the strongest man, how he's a vegan. And, you know, I mean, for me, I just really want to eat healthy, like, whether it's meat or not meat, like, I don't want to harm animals. You know, I've seen videos where farmers are doing mean things to animals, so I quit eating meat. And then I lost weight, so it doesn't work. I gotta plug my phone in. Oh, crap. I can't see. Hold on. There's something happening on my phone. Okay. So, you know, how do we know what the best diet is? Like, I don't trust the food sources. So, yeah, find a regenerative farm. And, you know, like the Hmong people. Do you know who Hmong people are? There's a lot of Hmong people in Minnesota and California. My first husband was Hmong. It's Hmong. So they came over from Laos, and you buy a whole cow. They buy a whole cow, a whole pig, and then they cut it up in their basement. So, like, you know, that's like you're knowing that this animal was out in a pasture eating grass, you know. So there's a lot that goes into eating healthy. I just realized someone's like, I can see your laptop. There, now you can't. So, does anybody want to talk about, I would like to invite you to share your thoughts on, you know, things that you eat, or, you know, something about your own diet that you changed, or if you have any questions, or all of the above. So I'm here to, like, support people on their journey, sharing things that I know about that are helping me. Sleep is really important for your body. How much sleep do you get? All right, well, hold on one second. Okay. I'm pretty sure no one's in here anymore. So, thank you for joining me, and I hope that this information was helpful for you, beneficial for your family, so that you can share it and eat healthy and have a healthy life. Much love. Sending love to everyone that's suffering everywhere on this planet. And I am very happy that I see a lot of different countries, how they're responding to different things in the world that are not good. And they're literally being peaceful. Because if you want to fight for your rights, you're going to have a fight. But if you're peaceful for your rights, there's nothing to resist. There's nothing to argue about. You just take your stand and be peaceful. We have choice. We have choices. You know, I have a choice. I'm not going to eat your garbage food. And in fact, if I go to a food shelf and you give me garbage food, I'm going to throw it in the garbage instead of giving it to somebody else so that they can get sick. Because when I went through all my food, I was like, I cannot give this to anybody. It's sad. Anyway, much love. Peace out. Have a blessed night.